Hello and welcome back to the box office, guys. We are back after an exciting weekend of boxing. We had George Kambosos pull off a massive underdog victory over Teofimo Lopez and an amazing fight that lived up and passed expectations with Brandon Figueroa and Stefan Fulton. Fulton winning and getting the decision nod there. Now, we're going to continue with this momentum to end the year strong. We have a great, exciting weekend for boxing. Starting off our video, or this video, with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. This bout is for December 5th, and it is on a Sunday. Yes, you heard it right, on Sunday. Not Saturday, the traditional day of boxing, Sunday. So we'll be actually competing with football. Nonetheless, it is at the Staples Center, or now Crypto.com Center, I believe it is called now. It is an interesting bout because we had some slight changes for this as well. Gervonta Davis was supposed to fight Rolando Romero. He got pulled out of the fight because of some legal issues he was going through. Steps in, they give a call to Isaac Cruz, who decided, you know what, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, I'll take it. Isaac Cruz, let's talk about him a little bit. He is actually a huge Vegas underdog. He's actually a plus 680, meaning you bet $100 and you'll in return, if you were to pull off the upset, you would win. You bet 100, you get 680 in return. Now, Isaac Cruz, nicknamed Pitbull, is 22-1 with one draw as well. 15 of his wins are by the way of KO. He's actually 5'4" and he has a 63-inch reach. His most notable and most recent fight, though, was against former champion and former Mexican Olympian Francisco Vargas, where he won a unanimous decision in a very exciting and entertaining fight. Jose Romero was previous to that, and his last KO victory was against Diego Magdaleno, in which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, stopped him within the first minute of the first round. He took an L. His first loss was early in his career, but it was a unanimous decision. So Isaac hasn't necessarily been rocked or, knocked out, but he's kind of come into his own since that loss, kind of found out who he is as a fighter and what's working, what's not working, and what's been the formula for success. Now, Gervonta Davis, on the other hand, he is the favorite. Some would say, he's just that talent that everyone wants to see fight. Gervonta Tank Davis is coming in at a minus 1,200 underdog, meaning you bet $1,200 and you'll get 100 in return. Again, another week of a tough, very limited value bet. He is 25-0, and 24 of those wins are by the way of knockout. Yes, 24. All but one of those fights have gone the distance. Now, Mario Barrios, TKO victory. Leo Santa Cruz, KO victory. And before that, Yuriokis Jumboa, TKO. Those are his last three fights that have all ended in knockout. Keep in mind, he is 5'5.5". Isaac Cruz is actually 5'4", so keep that in mind. His reach is a 67.5-inch reach, so he does have a 4.5-inch reach advantage versus Isaac Cruz. Mario Barrios was, I think, walking around 5'10". So for that bout, Gervonta Davis looked very, very small. He was a shorter fighter. Isaac Cruz is actually going to be the shorter fighter in this bout, which I bring up because it's just going to be a different approach in this bout. Moving forward, let's take a look at Isaac Cruz a little bit more and what he needs to do to potentially pull off an upset, which would mean we would have major upsets in back-to-back weeks if this were to happen. Isaac the Pitbull Cruz, right? So, as I said, he is 5'4", and he does not have a reach advantage. His reach is at 63 inches. So what does he have to do? Well, common logic would say get on the inside, right? Yes, he does have to come in the inside and work his way to the distance that he wants to get in so that he can let off his attack. But it's just much more than that. You don't just tell a fighter get on the inside, it's how you get into the inside. Isaac Cruz does have very good head movement, but what I would like to see is him using the jab a little bit more to get and cut off the ring and the distance so that he can get into his pocket. Once he gets into the pocket, he's a very compact fighter. If you've seen his fights before, he has a high guard. And he throws punches in bunches. Could it be a gift and a curse in this bout? But I want to see you coming in and covering that distance with a jab, not just head movement. You come in with just in a straight line, Gervonta is going to take advantage of that. Or if you're coming in with no punches at all, Gervonta will take advantage of that as well. So once you cover up that distance when you're coming in with the jab, what you want to do is you want to go to the body. And the reason you want to go to the body is because if anyone that's seen Isaac Cruz fight, you know that he's going to bring it for 12 rounds, or as long as he's in there, as long as he has a fighting chance, he's bringing it. So, if you're trying to bring Gervonta Davis and take him into deep waters, you're going to want to go to the body, potentially take some sting off of his power so that you can last and take punches better if it turns into a give and take bout. So come in behind the jab, go to the body, make it a war. Make it a war, make it rough, make it tough. I've seen Isaac Cruz fights where the opponent is clinching and he's throwing uppercuts down the pipe. You let the referee do his job, and then you fight your fight. Do what you have to do to get Gervonta Davis off his game. Do what you have to do to make him uncomfortable, and just fight your fight. Be aggressive, throw punches and bunches, and really take every single opportunity that is given to you. As an underdog, that's the type of fight that you have to fight. Anything that's given, you take. And then when you take more. They give you an inch, you take a foot. And that's the approach that needs to be here. And my last step is going to be tactical. And I bring this with caution because styles make fights. And sometimes you could say this is a perfect style for a Gervonta Davis. Isaac Cruz, we all know you're going to be coming forward. You're going to be throwing punches and bunches. But you have to be tactical about your approach. How you get inside and when you stay inside to get your head off that line. If you get on the inside and you're throwing punches and bunches, but your head stays right here in the middle, you're going to catch something in return. On another note, if you're not tactical and you're trying to start your attack before you get into your distance and you can close out his attack, he's going to catch you coming in. So you have to be very tactical. That's why I said come in through the jab, but you have to cross your T's and dot your I's here. Be very tactical because if you're fighting from a long distance, if you're not at the distance that you're comfortable in, and you try to lead off your attack, you're going to be susceptible to check hooks, right hands coming in. If you're attacking on the inside but your head's not moving, you're going to be susceptible to uppercuts. And that's the punch that I'm looking at right now is Gervonta's uppercut. Similar to a Leo Santa Cruz, but if you've seen Isaac Cruz, he gets away with a lot because he is just ferocious in his attack. But there comes a time where you step up to a certain level where those small mistakes can't be covered up with more work rate. And this might be the case. So be very tactical in your approach. Don't stay off and fight at his distance, and don't get sloppy on the inside. You do these things, you're going to put yourself in the driver's seat so that you can potentially pull off another massive upset this weekend. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis. As I mentioned, 25-0, 24 wins coming by the way of knockout. He is in the KO streak. He typically gets those fighters out. What do you have to do? Well, for one, as I mentioned, styles make fights, and this seems like the perfect storm for Gervonta Davis if he is able to execute. Remember, styles do make fights, but it's the one who takes advantage of those opportunities that really comes out on top. Whoever executes and sticks to the game plan is the one who's going to succeed. Now, number one is obviously with counter. This guy's known to come in and throw punches and bunches, so you're going to have to counter this guy every chance that you get. You start countering him, you're going to slow him down, and you're going to have to make him think twice before throwing punches. Don't just counter. Don't just catch and shoot. Don't throw those check hooks. Measure your distance. Catch them with right hands coming in. If you're on the inside, figure out the combinations he likes throwing. Roll your shoulder and come back with a punch of your own. The thing about countering is you don't necessarily just look for one punch, but you set up other punches as well, whether it's the check hook, uppercut, right hands. You're going to hook with the hooker. Remember, you jab with the jabber, but you don't hook with the hooker. You have to figure out elsewhere to go with that. You have to, as an elite fighter, have to find out ways to counter him. Step number 2, as the fight progresses and you start countering him, there's going to be a little bit of doubt when coming in. So you need to control the pace once that happens. The moment you see him not lunging in or coming in as ferocious or throwing 3 to 5 punch combos, if he starts throwing one punch at a time, that's your time to shine. You have to control the pace at that point. You can then start throwing your jab out there. You can start pop shotting. You can start throwing lead hooks. You can start sticking that jab to the body, which is going to be very, very important so that you can take some sting and some gas off that gas tank. You start controlling the pace once that happens. You counter, control the pace, and then number 3 is something that Gervonta Davis does so effortlessly, something that I actually like about Gervonta Davis that elite fighters do, and that's flipping the switch and turning that offense into defense and defense into offense. If you've looked at some of Gervonta Davis's fights, a lot of these fighters who are considered slow starters, it's by design. He likes to counter in the early rounds, see what the opponent has. Once he's felt his power and he feels like he's landed his punches and a little bit of the sting has came down, he really presses the issue. So I personally wouldn't be surprised that if at the beginning of the fight, Gervonta Davis is countering, but towards the end and middle half of the fight, Gervonta Davis is actually the one backing Isaac Cruz down. Keep that in mind because the elite fighters do it and they do it effortlessly. Sometimes you don't even notice when the switch happens, but there's a momentum shift. And Gervonta Davis is going to have to find out when it's time to flip the switch and when it's time for him to actually start walking down Isaac Cruz, which kind of sounds crazy considering how aggressive Isaac Cruz is, but that's the thing about these elite fighters. They find ways and they find cracks on the defenses, and then they just start stacking, start breaking a fighter down. And before you know it, they're the ones retreating and Gervonta Davis is on the driver's seat. So if you can do these 3 things, Gervonta Davis, not only will you win, especially if you can get that into that step number 3 where you can flip the switch and turn your defense into offense and start backing them down, you might get this guy out of here. Now, as far as the prediction for this bout goes, all I have is Gervonta Davis at a minus 1200, Isaac Cruz at a plus 680. Not a lot of value on Gervonta Davis. You can sprinkle a little something on Isaac Cruz, but I think Gervonta Davis is going to win by KO. Now, would I be surprised if he doesn't get him out? Absolutely not. These guys are professionals. I've said it before. Keep in mind, the lines haven't came out yet for knockout by decision over under rounds yet. I'm still leaning with Gervonta Davis by KO just because of the contrasting styles. Nothing personal for Isaac Cruz and what he does or doesn't do right. It's just, I feel like stylistically speaking, someone that opens up so much, throws punches and bunches, for someone of the caliber of what Gervonta Davis should be, Gervonta Davis should be able to counter and then dictate and start dominating the fight, specifically later ends of the rounds, and potentially come up with a knockout. So there you have it, guys. I got Gervonta Davis by KO. We'll see with this fight, how it goes down. There you have it, guys. Take care. We'll be making one about Devin Haney and JoJo soon. So I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.